One of the things I just wanted to just say, thank you so much for having me, but I also wanted to just thank you for 8 years of support. Zonta, as you know, has always been in the city over 90 years. But in the past 8 years, we have certainly felt that your administration has absolutely supported us in our mission, which is to advocate for women and girls through service and advocacy. And we just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for participating in our first annual Day of the Girl Child on October 11th. That was amazing. And our call that we had across our whole Commonwealth with several Zontians, over 50 were there to talk about ending child marriage. But today I just wanted to kind of talk to you about our 16 Days of Advocacy, which we do every year. And it'll start on November 25th and runs to December 10th. And the kickoff would be, we have all different programs that we're going to be doing. But one of the things was this interview. And I wanted to just give an opportunity for the people in our city to know about all the fabulous things your administration has done over the last 8 years. So one of the questions we had for you was to take it to 2020 now. COVID has seen, obviously, this pandemic is awful, and it's had such repercussions across every facet of our lives. One of the things we're really concerned about is domestic violence and people's food shortages and their access to health care and their access to meals. So what has your administration done to help people in our city deal with COVID?
Well, I guess it's what haven't we done? And the reason we have been doing everything that we can humanly possible is due to organizations like Zonta. I often look back to where we were just a few months ago, and I am certain that we would not be where we are without you and everybody else in Zonta and all the other organizations across the city. So in particular, the first thing that we wanted to do was use whatever resources we had to help families navigate food insecurity and being able to keep up with their rent. So the money that we received from the federal government went immediately to helping people pay rent. And so I'm pleased to say after the first round has been spent down, we've helped roughly 300 to 400 families make it over the summer with rent. And then the other thing that we've done is created a Malden fund, a Malden Together fund, working with Council Peg Crow and United Way to start raising funds beyond what we're doing for rental assistance to help people that need food. So once the fund gets to where we think it's time to start distributing resources, we're going to obviously work through all the great organizations here in our city. So the YMCA, the Bread of Life, Housing Families, etc. So those are some of the things, and it doesn't stop there because we also have a pretty robust business community and they do a lot around these issues, and so we've also allocated several $100,000 to helping them get through this as well.
Amazing. And one of the things that we all noticed was your amazing school lunch program that is just phenomenal. Breakfast, lunch, now dinner.
Now dinner.
So if you could talk a little bit about that, that is just amazing.
When we got the call that we had our first COVID case, I could still remember hanging up the phone, and the first thing you do is you freeze.
Right.
But then once that adrenaline wears off,
Yep.
you spring into action and start thinking about some of the things that we could do, and this was one of them. And
Amazing.
working with Superintendent O'Terry and the school committee, with members like yourself, one of the first decisions, besides canceling school until we knew what we were dealing with,
Right.
is to make sure that our students and families had food resources. So, you know, working with our workers in food services, we were able to come up with this program from the beginning. You know, so this wasn't something that happened several months after. I think it happened,
Immediate.
yeah, I'd say in March.
Yeah.
And
It was
so we
immediate.
started with breakfast and lunch and then expanded to dinner. And looking back, it's probably one of the greatest things that we've been able to do together to help our families navigate their way through.
You know, and as I talk to people who reach out to me on you know, weekly basis, and they're amazed. They don't have to worry about breakfast so much, and now it's dinner, and now it's weekends. You can pick up on Friday and, you know, get meals for the weekend. So in terms of food insecurity, that has just been, you know, tirelessly amazing.
It's
for-
actually such a good program, like you said, we really don't think about it much more because it's worked out so well and everybody's committed to it.
Yep.
And, you know, again, if someone said, looking back, what's one of the things that really worked well, I'd say it's this.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and the idea of, you know, I think initially we limited it to Malden High School and the Salem School as the pickup points, but, you know, then expanded it to all of our schools.
And I think that was really smart, because I think it just, we took a few of the bugs out and now we've expanded on it, and I think it's just been such a good program. And I think goes with food insecurity also can add to feelings of loss for families, and that can certainly add to anxiety. And one of the things that Daunt is really worried about was obviously domestic violence during COVID. And one of the other things that we think that you guys should be most proud of in your administration is all you've done for domestic violence. And given that we're doing, you know, Zonta Says No during our 16 days of advocacy, we'd love for you to talk about the last 8 years and all the amazing things that this administration has done for domestic violence.
Well, I have to credit one of your predecessors, Joanne Lambert, who back
Yes.
in 2012, when I
Yes.
became mayor, immediately took me under her wing. And
Yes,
this is an
Joanne
issue that we
Lambert.
have to work on, and
Yes.
we did, and now we have a dedicated domestic violence unit within the Malden Police
Amazing.
Department who has dedicated space to Respond Inc., which is a domestic violence organization. So they
Yes,
have a
very familiar.
dedicated person at the police station working with Detective Elijah McNeil,
Mhm.
and they've been together ever since 2012 or 2013.
Amazing.
And it's been a great partnership. I was just checking into it this week because Police Chief Molis and I meet every Tuesday,
Mhm.
and it's one of the things on our agenda, and they said the relationship couldn't be better. And it's to the point now that we're hoping one day that Respond will be able to open up a shelter here in Malden.
Amazing.
So that's the next step forward for us. And yeah, we just couldn't be more pleased to have them here in our city. And it's so good now that even the police department does directed patrols to a victim's home
Amazing.
repeatedly while that, you know, they're going through this crisis.
All the different,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. And we not just go to their home, we also go to the person that, you know, has committed domestic violence to make sure that they're not anywhere near the victim.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's worked really well.
So is there any other things that, you know, you wanted to add in, you know, in our conversation? But I just wanted to add that I just again wanted to say thank you. Your support for Zonta has just been astounding, and we look forward to a future where our two, you know, paths will continue to cross.
Yeah, well, I must say, it also helps having a longtime Zontian sitting in this office right here. So, Chief of Staff Maria Luis, as you know.
Yes, she is
is a
she is a Zontian sister,
Yep.
close to my heart.
Yeah,
So she's amazing, and
Yeah.
it is, you know, it's funny because as I talk to people and they get to know what Zonta's all about, and that we truly have our agenda, you know, right now it's end child marriage, but it's also advocating for women's issues, and it's making sure, you know, there's gonna be plenty of bills coming forward that, you know, that we'll be advocating for going forward. And then we have our service, we do our mobile food markets
Yep.
that you have also been to and
Scholarships,
participated
I
in
mean,
scholarship
yep.
funds and our Women Making a Difference, which Maria Louise was one of the recipients.
Yep.
And so, you know, those will all continue as we move forward, and we hope during COVID that we can continue to, you know, have our service clubs and all that be all involved.
Yep, well, we're here for you, so
Great.
anything we can do.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Appreciate it.
it.
Well, Michelle, we have prepared this proclamation partly in tribute to you and everybody else at Zonta, because I would have never known about the ending of child marriage law if it wasn't for your organization. So I want
Thank
to
you.
first start off by saying thank you.
Thank you.
And we're all in on whatever we can do to help. And we felt this is one way we could do that by issuing this proclamation. So it
Amazing.
reads as follows. It says, whereas early enforced marriage happens across countries, cultures, and religions, with 12 million girls marrying before they turn 18 each year. And whereas in Massachusetts, with parental consent and a judge's approval, there is no minimum age to marry. And between 2000 to 2016, more than 1,200 children under the age of 18 were married in the Commonwealth. And whereas research on the impacts of child marriage shows it is deeply harmful, putting girls at risk of negative health problems, interrupted education, poverty, and domestic violence. And whereas a bill to ban all marriages under 18 has been unanimously passed by the Massachusetts State Senate and is now being considered by the Massachusetts House of Representatives, House Bill 1478. And whereas the City of Malden acknowledges the advocacy of its local Zonta Club to end child marriage and supports its general mission to advance the rights and empowerment of all women and girls everywhere. Now therefore I, Gary Christensen, Mayor of the City of Malden in Massachusetts, hereby proclaim that the City of Malden recognize the Zonta Club of Malden for its continued advocacy to end child marriage laws in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I encourage everyone in our community to stand with the Zonta Club of Malden in bringing awareness and in helping to pass an act to end these laws. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Malden, the 16th day of November 2020 to be affixed.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
The least we could do.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you so much.